Is this the best minivan? We're going to find out in today's video. I'll include a link to the Doug Smith in Lyndon's website in the description down below. If you have any questions, you need any help, just ask for AJ. I'll also include a link to my car buying guide. Let's get into it. Powering this is a 3.5 liter V6 that goes through an 8-speed. Fuel economy is 18 around town, 25 on the highway, with power outputs being 287 horsepower and then 260 pound-feet of torque. I'm trying to hit 500,000 subscribers before the end of the year. I'd really appreciate it if you'd help out with that. Now I picked this particular Carnival because it has the cool flat gray. You notice the badge is blacked out. The headlight bezel is also blacked on. That stacked headlight design is very unique. Now the grille does have some brushed trim there in it. And then we have fog lights here at the very bottom. And you'll note that this has a very boxy design. And it makes it look a lot less minivan-like and more SUV-like in a way. Our tire wheel setup is 235 by 55 by 19. The wheels are completely blacked out too. And then look at the finish there on the mirror cap, and then you got the blacked out pillar. Here's the side profile. You can see the boxiness continues and the blacked out elements also continue. When it comes to the key fob, we've got the Kia logo there on the one side and the other side too. We have our remote start function, the opening for the doors, the lock and the unlock opening for the hatch too, and also the Kia logo illuminates when you press the lock or unlock. We've got a 12-volt and an outlet here in the rear, and all of the seat adjustments are nicely labeled. Now this bottom section is for cargo space, but you can also stow the seats down there. And close her up. Now the taillight kind of drops down and you've got this cool light bar effect here on the rear. And I think this is probably the boxiest minivan in terms of the rear. And if you don't know, Kia calls this an MPV, a multi-purpose vehicle, instead of a minivan. So with the styling and with the naming, you can tell they're trying to not market it as a minivan. Let's now pop inside. Now these seats are really cool with the two-tone white and the blue mixed together. And you notice on the seat, everything is nicely labeled. Now like most minivans, you can fit adults in the third row, legroom's good. Also comes with a USB-C, and we've got sunshades for the rear passengers as well as ventilation up top. And there's actually a sunroof just in front of us. Great space here in the second row. We have a little storage pocket too. You can actually adjust the front passenger seat from the rear. USB port there on the side of the seat. We've got some cup holders, and you can see more charge ports down below. Now this seat in the middle doubles as kind of like a storage space, but you can also use it as a seat, of course. More vents throughout the top. We have controls for our own climate zone, and then you notice the Big Brother camera there in the center. Keyless entry for up front. That two-tone design continues on the front door panel. Blind spot monitoring with the mirrors, and then we've got memory seat functionality down below, and the nice finish with all of our window controls. The mirrors do power fold in. More nice trim here on the front seat, perforated all down the center portion. Power adjustments on the side. There's also lumbar support. And of course, let's go see what's happening with the passenger. No lumbar, but they still have power adjustments. Start her up. Soft touch trim all around the steering wheel, finished in that blue coloration. Practical controls for the adaptive cruise control, your lane centering. That's for the center stack. The left side has your volume voice command controls, and then you've got these nice stalks here on the back. Digital gauge cluster here in the center, which we can use to scroll through different items to display what we want to see. And then the drive modes will also pop up here in the center. There is a little animation with each of the modes. 360 camera system. There is also this exterior shot with the camera system. And then as for the infotainment system, it is quick to respond. Everything is nicely labeled. It's not picking up my finger for some reason sometimes. I do have calluses on the end of my fingers, so I think that might cause some issues. And yes, we've got these multi-function controls here for the radio and for the climate. Now, word on the street, Kia is probably going to be phasing out those controls in their cars in the near future. Got a bunch of charge ports here, and then we have a wireless phone charging pad. Cup holders here on the side. We've got the shifter for the 8-speed. Drive mode select with a parking brake, auto hold as well. There's a nice toggle for the heated and cooled seat function. Then you got more shortcut buttons for like the parking sensors and your camera. Nice trim here on the center console. Lots of space inside as well. And then we've got controls up top for like the doors, also for the sunroof, because there's another sunroof up front. Lots of glare. So this is an SX version, and MSRP is $49,315. Let's see how the MPV performs. Let's set off in the MPV, the multi-purpose vehicle minivan. It's a minivan. You know, I think that minivans are starting to get less stigma nowadays. And I think especially, like, I'm Gen Z. I don't think my generation has stigma against minivans like millennials and Gen X do, because with those generations, they're like all in with being cool, the cool kids. With us Gen Z, we just care about practicality. So this thing, lots of practicality. Now, I'll show you guys another term, but this has the little turn signal camera, which is a nice feature. Helps out with visibility. Now this is unibody construction, independent suspension, front and rear. And so it handles quite well. All minivans have the same construction. Longer wheelbase too, which helps out with ride quality. When you go over the bumps, right, that one section of suspension soaks up the bump. So it helps isolate it, which is nice if you've got a baby in the back, right? It makes a big difference. We've got some vehicles with solid axles, and I can tell you that the solid axle compared to independent suspension makes a huge difference with a baby. Because the solid axles, right, you get that back and forth in the axle, and so then it upsets the baby, whereas this, it's comfortable enough where the baby's like, I don't really care. It's nice. Guess we'll pop it in the sport mode, see what this V6 is made out of. And don't worry, I will have a review, of course, on the hybrid powertrain too. And if you guys want me to do other packages on this, let me know what packages. Like, do you want me to do a base model, for example? Can definitely put that together for you. Now, when it comes to acceleration, V6 NA, it's not a rocket ship, right? It's a minivan, but it's smooth power delivery. The transmission is smooth, the engine's smooth. It's really nice. It's what you want out of something like this. And when it comes to the turning radius, it is quite sharp. Again, the independent suspension helps out with that. You don't have to drag an axle. Lots of positives on that front. So, in summary, this is a really nice rig. And the thing that's great about Kia is, again, you get a big warranty, so that's going to help out. A lot of people nowadays, because, you know, modern cars have gotten so complicated, a lot of people typically just keep the cars for the warranty period and then get rid of it when that's out. And so this having a longer warranty means that you've got more play, right? You've got more time to keep it. So I think that's a big benefit. And, you know, the thing about Kia is this interior, I feel like, shows that they take some risks, right? I mean, you look at like a Toyota Sienna, and every Toyota Sienna has like a black interior. This, I mean, I understand this is not going to be like the best for kids ever, right? I get it. The kind of whitish gray with the blue, but you can get it with the black interior if you want. But it's cool that you at least have this more stylish stuff as an option. I think that's nice. And yeah, I mean, overall, like I said, it drives well. It's got the practicality, and I think, like I said, I think minivans are going to make a comeback, because people in my generation, we care about aesthetics, don't get me wrong, but practicality. And so I mean, my wife and I are a great example. You know, we bought an older Sequoia instead of a newer one, because the older one has a flat load floor with the third row folded down. You can still have flat storage, versus the new one has that crazy storage compartment because of the hybrid and the solid rear axle. And so we, like our Sequoia, like the old generation Sequoia versus the new one, the old one's uglier, objectively, and has less power, all this stuff, but it's more practical overall. So I think you're going to see minivans make a big comeback, because people are going to go back to practicality. Let me know your thoughts.